Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, June the 25th. And as we have been for the past several months, I'm coming to you from my home in northern Boone County. And on the line in southern Boone County, I've got Walter Bargen, our first poet laureate for the state of Missouri. Good morning, Walter.
Good morning to you, Paul.
Yeah, you're at your home, and you just put your cat out of the room right now into the next room because she wanted to sit on your lap?
Well, it's not so much that she wants to sit on my lap. It's that she kind of needs me and claws me and is very distracting at times. So,
all right.
Generally speaking, she's more than welcome to sit on my lap, but I thought today might not be the right moment.
All right. So what poem do you have to share with us today?
The poem is called Superior Waters, and I thought because we're self-quarantining, for the past 10 weeks or so, or self-isolation, whatever you want to call it, I thought maybe it might be nice to take a little trip. And this is,
right.
For many years, when my kids were young, we went to Lake Superior. And we went to a sandy beach on Madeline Island, which is part of the Apostle Islands National Lakeshore. And it's a beautiful place, and we had a lovely time. So
here is Walter Bargen with Superior Waters.
Superior Waters. 1. Spruce, too straight to be anything but telephone poles, trucked halfway across a continent, wade deep into weeds, poison ivy, sunflowers, keeping our voices distant and dry above flooded fields. 2. Clouds stack up as if the wind turned mason, pot-bellied and drinking beer to numb the worn-out cartilage in the machinery of its gusty shoulders. The sky's blue mortar hardly holds the day together before the sun slips, movie slow, off its scaffolding to build a darker house. Next to the restaurant's half-burnt-out neon sizzle, a soft gray swirl of sky across the highway, oil storage tanks sit, metal biscuits on a scraped pan of baked earth. Beside the fenced-in satellite dish, a picnic table with one bench. Underneath, August crickets begin to count down. A couple strolls the asphalt parking lot, clockwise, counterclockwise. Nothing to do once the slapping stops, but press myself into the warm body of soothing sand and stare into the smoky pall where ships' masts sail upward, dropping gravity's ballast before falling toward a decaying northern port. Out of the rippled blue, her arms reach up from the Delft china surface, a fish leaping into sight. Varieties of religious experience, so quick and easy, said and seen so often, meaning absolutely, resolutely, clear and clean, and then not so clear, sitting in the smolder rising from a damp birch log. In a shroud of flies, I sit shooing them from the lip of a coffee cup, the flickering shadows of aspen leaves smoking the table covered with rescued beach pebbles, cold and weathered hearts of sandstone, as my 12-year-old son tells me to get a life. Wind smooths the wrinkled sheets of smoke, white-suited birch packed for another season. So many flies it could be a grim fairy tale of black snow that won't melt. I want to wait for the telling, but can't. The beach is abandoned. A noon mist hurries along the shore. Over the blue-bound water, light's scissors cut deep into the waves' telling. Waves stick their tongues in the sand, a moist shining that the moon licks. Water polishes the body until it disappears. Over, through, between, unashamed, even as desire pools, floods, is exhausted, though never quite done with any of us.
All right. And I felt like I was up at Lake Superior. Very nice, Walter.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
No, I said you took us on a little trip. For many people who have not been very far from their home over the past 2 months or so, it was refreshing. It was refreshing. And I would imagine you were taking a stroll down memory lane also.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I read that, and I just I love the many images in that poem, and each one just floats me off back in time and currently out of my room.
Have you written any new poems dealing with this pandemic and with this isolation that we are all living through at this point?
Yes, I have written a few. I thought, though, that, it's so much in the news every day, as it should be, that I thought it would be nice to just get away from that for a moment. Right.
Maybe in a year or two, we can all look back at this and we can share a poem or two. But right now, we're living it, and we're hoping that we can all get through this as soon as possible. So how are things down in your neck of the woods?
Well, it's the usual. We may have a viral pandemic, but we have a tick pandemic down here. It's just amazing how many sea ticks there are.
Yeah. What about the snake?
I have not seen any. I don't think I've seen any snakes this year, surprisingly, and of course, no rattlesnakes, which is your favorite.
Well, good for you. I've seen about 3 or 4 of them, and every time I see those little things slithering through the ground on the path, I think of Walter Bargen. But Walter, thank you so much for visiting with us today. Stay safe, and when you go out, you're wearing your mask and you're social distancing, correct?
Oh, I am. Well, I hardly go out, but yeah, I go to the grocery store about once a week, and I'm definitely wearing a mask. And I'm wearing, gloves, and it's a labor.
It is,
but a necessary one in order to get by.
Exactly, Walter. Thank you so much for coming by. Actually, for chatting with us on the phone. And if people want your book, they're available at where?
Well, this is from my latest book, Until Next Time, and they're available at Yellow Dog Books, at Skylark Books, and at
in Columbia,
Barnes, and Barnes and Noble.
So much, Walter. Bye-bye.